There's kind of a formula for when sound is dangerous, and the two main factors are how long you're exposed and how loud the noise is.
Intense, yeah.
And so if it's really loud for a long time, that's when you're in trouble. If it's really loud for a short time, you're probably fine. But even if it's moderately loud for a really long time, like you're working in a factory that's moderately loud for 8 straight hours, that can be a problem.
Yeah,
so,
err on the safe side.
But in those ball games, it's usually really loud for like 2 minutes, and then it's quiet. It's usually okay. I wanted to mention one thing about the custom hearing protection, though.
Nice.
We love custom hearing protection. We love the idea of protecting your hearing and protecting your ears. And so we do offer some really cool stuff, and there's cool stuff out there. Filtered hearing protection for people that love music. It allows the sound to come through naturally. It doesn't block, you know, a whole ton of one frequency and allow another frequency in. Instead, it has a special filter in it, so it all comes through naturally. It's just dampened, it's just quiet. I have several patients who actually go to ball games, but they're in the band. Hold on, pause just 1 second. We'll get back to our video in just one moment, but if you're liking what you're seeing, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, turn on the notifications. We really appreciate it. Back to the video.
Let's get back. Ooh.
Or they're the band director. Their noise exposure is different than a fan who's sitting far away from the band. So people that really are around some really loud noise at the ball game, sometimes it is nice to have some of this hearing protection.
Yeah, you know, I like the hearing protection that's custom also, that's just the regular type, that's kind of the least expensive type. It's just a piece of, you know, silicone. It's very, very easy to put in because it's custom. It has handles. Usually we'll have like a cord that connects both ears, and so if a neighbor came upon you as you're mowing your lawn, if you said, you know what, I'm done with these super aural headphones that cover my ears, because in the summertime it may create big sweat rings and you're like, oh, it's just too hot for those. Having custom, you know, hearing protection could be really nice because it just goes in your ear. You can pull one out, talk to a wife or a son that should be mowing the lawn or something, and you're instructing, and then you put it back in and you can keep protecting your ears. Those custom, you know, types of hearing protection are nice. They even have softer materials, kind of this PS2000 type material that's really squishy, and people can make sleep molds because sometimes people sleep and their significant other is snoring or making sounds. Maybe it's a sleep apnea machine or something, and they're like, what do I do? Well, there's lots of really effective custom earpieces that can be made, not just for hearing protection, but also for sleeping as well. And
you know what else is kind of cool? We've talked a lot about the Sphere and this launch of this new hearing aid by Phonak. But kind of lost in the shuffle was the fact that Phonak launched a bunch of non-custom hearing protection. They're really cool. So by non-custom, custom means it's fitted perfectly to your ear. We squirt putty in your ear. It's made just for you. It's like what a dentist does when they make a mold of your teeth. We take an impression of your ear and the mold is custom made for you. Phonak has launched non-custom hearing protection, which means it's just kind of generic. It comes out of the box, but it's really good. They have non-custom sleep molds. They have non-custom filtered musicians molds. They have non-custom stuff for shooting and other hearing protection that's quite inexpensive. And so there are really good options for hearing protection out there.
I love it. Love it. You know, another type of reason why someone may want custom hearing protection is some of you have noticed when you squish the foamy type hearing protection, you know, the real cheapy kind that is handed out, and we all have that. I have several packs of those. But when you roll it, you're making it really small, and the intention is to allow it to go deep into the canal, beyond the first bend of your ear canal, so that it does a good job of completing or succeeding with that noise reduction rating. So it's supposed to try to limit and reduce sound down to about 24 to 28 decibels, like really take the sound down. And when you roll it and you get it in deep, it does indeed do that. It performs its intended function. It really reduces the sound. But some of you may have anatomy where instead of your ear canal being fairly straight, it is, instead of straight, it's kind of bendy. And with that bend, the hearing protection can only go in so far. So you may roll it like the person next to you and everyone's sticking in the hearing protection. You go to put yours in and you look at the person next to you and theirs seems kind of flush and deep and yours is still sticking out. Well, we're not really talking about you not looking right. We're talking about you not, getting the protection that you deserve or the protection that you're seeking. And so if you think, yeah, every time I go to put something in my canal, it's really frustrating, I can't get it in very deep. Well, not only is it frustrating, you're not protecting your hearing very well. So that type of custom hearing protection is perfect for individuals who have really bendy, tough, small ear canals. So if you think that your anatomy has been difficult with those foam types of hearing protection, you ought to go to the muffs, or you could have some custom hearing protection made. It's really easy to do, and it's super beneficial, and it really does a great job even with those who have small ear canals or very bendy ear canals. So
one of the saddest things that we see are people that think they're protecting their hearing, they go shooting one time and they get permanent damage done to their ears.
Those are sad stories.
Those are really sad, and we see them way too often. So it's better safe than sorry.
Right.
Get those hearing protection, get those foam pieces in right. If you're not sure you're doing it right, use the muffs, double up, use, better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry. Today we were mentioning mowing the lawn. So the reason we brought that up is because when you mow the lawn or you get your edger out, and even though your edger it's not a two-stroke, two-cycle, high-pitch whine type old school edger.
Oh, it might be. Some of us still have that.
Whoa, we're not shaming. But what I'm saying is, even if you have a newer model that's battery operated, because of the cycles that turn on those edgers, it does create a loud enough sound that's hitting that 85 decibels or louder. And so that's why when we talk about like yard work, you've got your blower, your edger, your lawnmower, those things are loud. Yeah. And when they're above that 85 decibel threshold, which those sounds are, and you're out in your yard using those tools for 30 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and a half if you're a real perfectionist,
2 hours.
You're mowing it one way, you're also mowing it another, go back the other.
Get the pattern looks like a steak, my son says. Make it look like a steak.
Let's do some parquet. So our point is, if you're around these tools, it's loud enough and you're out there for long enough time that it could be damaging your hearing. And that's when you should be wearing the hearing protection for sure. So
yeah, and it's hard to know, what's 85 decibels?
Yeah.
That's a hard thing. Is 30 decibels loud? No, 30 decibels very quiet.
Like right now, Dr. Whitaker, he's talking and he's about 60 to 65 decibels.
I was going to say, when I measure mine, I'm 65 to 70. So I can be 70 decibels just talking right here.
I think right there was 70.
Right, I got a little excited. 70 decibels,
okay.
That's a little bit loud.
Go Cougars might get up to 80, 85.
If you're banging on the piano, you're probably 85.
Yeah, you're hitting it.
That's probably 85. If you're cheering at the ball game, you're probably hitting 100 decibels pretty easily in a really loud moment. But again, you've got to have sustained noise above that 85, so that loud lawnmower or that loud crowd cheer for an extended period of time before it becomes problematic.
What do you think about when you think about extended period of time, 80, 85, 90 decibels? I'm thinking about people listening to music with their personal headphones, because we used to have headphones that just kind of cover your ears and we called them headphones, but now they have insert phones. Insert phones, obviously by just the name says it's going deeper in the canal. When you allow something to go deeper in the canal, you make the resonance of that chamber smaller, which increases intensity. And then you kind of block it off, right? They have these different small like silicone domes that are supposed to fit your ears. I know it doesn't fit everyone, but those sizes are meant to say what's comfortable and what can you get away with making it sound right and be comfortable. Things are a lot louder, and so when you talk about having something in your ear for hours, sometimes our kids, and even as adults, sometimes we have things in our ears for a long, like over an hour of a period of time. So I would say that if you've got, we'll just use AirPods for an example, because you see a lot of those, or those Bose little small headphones, a lot of people have those. If you have your volume scale and you know that you're now above half and you're getting close to 3/4, you're coming up on 85 decibels guaranteed. As someone who has these headphones and I enjoy, you know, I work out, I put them in, I put the sound up, I love to have a good experience, but I recognize that it's pretty intense, it's pretty loud, it's fun, but you've got to stay away from that 3/4 to all the way up. If you can keep it below 3/4 and keep it closer to half, it's going to be plenty loud. It's still pretty strong, but boy, you can really crank out the sound on those, can't you?
You know, and it kind of goes both ways a little bit. A lot of these really good new headphones actually are so good at blocking out extraneous noise, the noise cancellation, that you don't have to turn it up as loud to have a good experience. So I actually think in a lot of ways these good headphones, these AirPods, these Bose headphones, they're actually helping, because you can go to the gym and not have to crank it up above the noise of the gym or above the noise of the lawnmower. It actually cancels it out, and you can listen at a moderate level and still be okay.
That's a great point.
The big problems I see, people that actually have noise-induced hearing loss, is very seldom from their AirPods. In fact, I may say I've never seen someone that I can guarantee their noise exposure was from their AirPods. But what we do see are people that played in the band. So they practice in the band, they're the drummer, they are touring, they are practicing. When you're in that environment, if you're not protecting your hearing, watch out. Certainly like heavy equipment. If you're operating, you know, chainsaws, jackhammers, and you're not protecting your hearing, you're gonna have problems. And then of course, firearms. Which is maybe number one. I mean, military personnel, people that love to go shooting, target practice. Firearms, no matter how much you're protecting your hearing, that noise is loud enough, it will get through the hearing protection. And even if you're protecting your hearing regularly, if you're around that noise a lot, you're gonna have hearing loss.
That's a really, really good point. Those are really clear-cut, great examples of people that are going to have hearing loss unless they want to be different than those around them, which is you've got to protect your hearing. In some of those environments, you think, well, I'm not shooting my gun, I'll take my hearing protection out and start talking to Ryan on the range. Well, guess who else is on the range? These other 5 guys. You've got to distance yourself and you've got to get away from the noise or keep the protection in. So yeah, you can't be too casual about that. A lot of the individuals that are out in the community are going to be usually below the age of 65 or something. Or below the age of 70. So the effect of insert headphones, we don't totally know because they're fairly new. They've been on the market for a short amount of time. We don't know what effect this is going to have on society. I am a little bit nervous about it, just in my own behavior of knowing how I like it loud. And I know the quality of the sound has gotten so much better than what we ever had. And so it will be interesting to see, for those of us that are, getting close to 50, is the age of what we assume to be a normal age for people to start losing their hearing. For example, after the age of 65, people start to slowly lose their hearing. That's a normal thing. Most people are like that. In fact, very few people don't. And so most people, just by living in the noisy society we have, they start losing their hearing, 65 and older. But will that become younger? Like the norm is now 55, and because of this effect of we've had things in our ears at a louder level, at an earlier level for longer periods of time, all that stuff. So time will tell, but certainly sounds that are really, really noisy. Dr. Whitaker mentioned many of those. I was thinking about that husband and wife, or maybe it's just one or the other, male or female. They like to be out in their shop and they work with wood and they're doing crafting and they use these sanders and these special cutting blades and these different tools to just really fine-tune their work as they work with wood or whatever it may be. Those kind of patients sneak in too. They come in and we see them and we say, hey, are you around noise? And they say no. And then you say, well, do you have any hobbies that are noisy? And sure enough, they're like, well, I do spend a lot of time with my Harley Davidson motorcycle, or I do spend a lot of time working on wood in the garage, and I love to tinker around. So power tools, power engines, mechanical sounds, we would tell you these are the people we see in our clinic. So if you know that's you, make sure that if
Be
you're,
careful.
be careful out there, protect your hearing. Okay, everybody, we so appreciate you watching the video today. If you've liked what you've seen, please like it, subscribe to our channel. It means the world to us, but it also means the world to other people who are trying to figure out what's going on with their hearing health. So thank you for watching.